Welcome everybody to week 2 of the Ascension eSports' Dragon League playoffs. This is the semifinals. Tonight, your host, me, the Doctor, and being joined by none other than Compete League's Primus. And tonight, we are raring to go with this fatal matchup between Ice Cold Juice and the Cosmic Riders.
Bands are coming in hot and furious. I'm very excited. Cosmic Riders had a very strong showing last week. Ice Cold Juice did get a bye last week, so we're not quite sure where they're going to be sitting at coming in onto this new patch. We have a little bit more information on Cosmic Riders since they did play last week, as we already are through most of our band plays.
Yeah, and we see Anivia, Swain, Vi, Oriana. All of these picks have seen fairly significant play in the LCS lately. Even the Zillion getting picked up as well. So these teams, they know what they want and they know what they really don't want to play against.
Yeah, just looking to try to take away very strong picks rather than more target picks. While yes, there are strong champions for specific players on both sides, but there are still strong individual champions, as Talon is the final ban as we go into pick phase.
So I'm curious to see what we're going to pick up. We did see a lot of picks from Cosmic Riders last week, but they knew exactly what they wanted to do, and they did it very well. Essentially 3-0ing their opponents last weekend after giving up a one-game ban due to timeout. But their mid laner Pistonwish, the one who was the timeout champ, he kind of went off every single game, just getting tons of kills, tons of assists, and being a driving force behind his team. So I'm curious to see what he brings out.
Yeah, looks like they are going to take the first pick in Nivea for Toddy 2K. It's been kind of his primary ADC. Hasn't been locked in yet, but it's been his go-to ADC for much of this split of Dragon League. But talking about Piston Switch, like, was there a champion he didn't show up on last week? He played like a Nivea, he played like Ari. He kind of was all over the board with his champions, and Gamma Chaos is hovering his Warwick once again.
Yeah, and we saw that slip through, I believe it was game 3 last week, and he did Warwick things. I mean, he was the beast that we all know Warwick can be. Showed up every time in lane he needed to be, got involved in almost every team fight. Granted, the lockdown on his ultimate is super buggy still, so there's only so much we can take away from him there. But combo that with the Nautilus, lots of lockdown, lots of AoE damage, lots of tanky and sustain. Seeing the Jhin first pick, I'm wondering if it was worth it.
I mean, like,
Wow.
The thing is I don't know if Zach actually plays the Warwick. Giving away the Nautilus is a bigger concern to me because I believe Nautilus is the strongest tank currently in the meta right now. Just point and click CC, constant lane pressure. Like, there's not really a tank I would put above Nautilus right now with the state of the meta. He does still have some bad matchups in the carries, but in terms of straight tanks, he's probably the best.
It's also a bit of a flex pick. We don't normally see it down in the support role, but it's very well within it. If Ice Cold Juice decided to pick up a hard Nautilus counter for that top lane, then they could potentially save that last pick on red side for a counter. But with the Thresh hover, I don't see it as being a support Nautilus. I only just see top lane Thresh, which would be exciting. I'd be down to watch some top lane Thresh.
I'd be okay with it. On hit Thresh top, boys, let's go.
But I'm actually more curious about the Sejuani, something we never see. I can't even remember the last time I saw it even in solo queue. Talk to me about what that pick so far is bringing to Jhin and Ryze.
Yeah, up against Jhin and Ryze, Thresh and Nautilus provide a ton of pick potential. Once one hook lands, you know the other hook's just going to follow right behind it. He can easily follow that up with the Chains of Corruption, with an Infinite Duress. There's a lot of follow-up CC provided one of those hooks can come across first. So
that didn't really answer my question about the Sejuani, but...
Oh, the Sejuani... I don't like Sejuani in this meta. She struggles mightily to clear the jungle, and against a Nautilus and a Thresh, it's really going to be difficult for her to get an ultimate onto the backline, which is really the only reason why you pick Sejuani, is you want to get that Glacial Prison onto the backline, and if you never get that ultimate onto the backline, you're just kind of ulting tanks. And while yes, it does have great synergy with the Rumble, but she just has such a terrible time clearing that she can still get punished extremely hard early on.
So we finally see Ice Cold Juice's comp being rounded out. We have Jhin, Sejuani, Ryze, Rumble, Malzahar. That's a lot of AP damage, and when you have a monster tank such as Nautilus, that's going to be a Spirit Visage.
And a Jhin.
Jhin, yeah.
Jhin to be the ADC, which doesn't kill tanks very well.
So you have a non-tank killer to carry, a full AP lineup behind that carry. It's going to be a very easy game for the Warwick and Nautilus. Build-wise, at least, they could just come out and just get completely shreked, in which case, surprise. But looking at the Cosmic lineup, Nautilus, Warwick, Varus, Ziggs, Thresh, I do believe it's a Ziggs 80 carry, too. Piston Wish played 2 games on the Varus last week, I believe, and just absolutely shredded people.
Yeah, it's a very good pick into the Ryze, because once Varus starts getting levels, he can just basically say, Ryze, you just don't get to ever fight me. Like, I'll just sit at max range throwing piercing arrows at you, and you can never actually engage on me and try to start snowballing. You're going to have to look to try to gank these side lanes.
Yeah, it definitely poses a very significant choice there. This bot lane is super weird. I like the Ziggs pick. Overall, just thematically, or like conceptually, I love the Ziggs bot lane. I tried to play it. I went 0-5. Decided maybe it wasn't my thing. But I'm not quite sure how it combos with the Thresh.
I don't think it's a very good match with the Thresh, because the primary supports we see paired with the Ziggs, like even in LCS, we're seeing the long range made supports paired with them, and essentially you're just playing a heavy push bot lane that not a lot of ADCs can match. Like, the only real ADCs who can match the level of push that a Ziggs has would be a Sivir and possibly a Sivir, Ashe, and Caitlyn, which did not get picked up in this game. You have a Jhin and Malzahar. Malzahar does provide a lot of wave pressure in of himself, but when you're going up against the Ziggs and Thresh, like, I feel like this lane could be very explosive, or it could just be a farm lane.
I think it is gonna be a farm lane. Jhin wants to get late game. Malzahar just wants to hit level 6 these days. Just because Malzahar did receive some nerfs to his damage, so kind of a utility bot with that ultimate. But Ziggs is the pushing champ. I think Ziggs will have the pushing advantage early on, even though it has the Thresh backing it up, so it's still not really the ideal wave push. I would have loved to have seen Ziggs Karma, maybe.
Ziggs Karma is really good. Ziggs Zyra is very good. Even Ziggs Nami. Just giving that extra movement speed to Ziggs plus the extra auto damage.
Nami's actually quickly becoming one of my least favorite supports. There's just so much she does, and just there's nothing I have an answer for, and the only more frustrating support is Zillion. And Zillion's the type of champion, which thankfully we have it banned, because I just can't stand that champion. If I could remove a single champion from League of Legends forever, it would be Zillion.
Not Shaco, not Rengar?
No, because I enjoy playing Rengar, so that I wouldn't want to remove something I have fun on. And Shaco, the only time I see Shaco is when FlyQuest plays it, and they're trying to bomb for draft picks right now, essentially. So I'm fine with Shaco as well. Zillion, it's just when a good Zillion gets far enough ahead, or even just like does well enough, you essentially aren't allowed to play League of Legends as long as that's a thing.
Or you just make the Zillion blow his ult on himself and then just kill everyone else on his team, because Zillion in and of itself is still very weak to AoE compositions. Like, that's why we saw Zillion mid fall out of the meta, among other reasons, was because Zillion, well, yes, he can fully revive one player on his team, but if you pick heavy AoE into Zillion, there's not a lot he can do.
Very true. But I don't enjoy it. It's one of those champions that seems anti-fun to me, but I'm also bad at League of Legends, so I did miss the time clock there. So now that we are in loading screen, give me your prediction. What team do you think is going to take game 1 in this best of right now?
I'm going to favor the side of Cosmic Riders. They have the heavy front line with Warwick, Thresh, and Nautilus against a heavy AP comp. And assuming the game stays even and we don't see Ice Cold Juice getting out to a massive lead, Nautilus is just going to become unkillable. Despite what I expect will be at least one, should be more than one, Liandry's Torment, because I expect Malzahar will also pick one up at some point to try to deal with the front line, but I just don't think it's going to be enough.
Yeah, and I mean, like I was saying earlier, we're typically seeing Malzahars deviate from that ability power build just because of the nerfs to his ratios and just his damage overall. And so we're seeing a lot more Malzahars get a lot more out of a redemption style build with, you know, item cooldowns.
Well, they'll still go like Rylai's.
It slows, very useful. But so I do agree with you that the Nautilus and Warwick are going to be a serious problem coming into this game. I do think that if they don't get ahead, though, if they fall behind, it's very frustrating to be behind as a Nautilus. There's just simply nothing you can do. You can hook in, but then you just get blown up. It's just very hard to play that style. But we're loading onto the Rift now. I want to get the chat's opinion. I want to get chat involved here. Throw it up in the chat, guys. Who you think is going to win? ICJ win or CR win? Throw it in the chat. Throw it up in Discord if you can. Get people involved. Get people in this game. And get hype. This is semifinals, guys.
Yeah, I mean, come on. This is the second to last best of 5. Myself and possibly the Doctor will be casting for Dragon League this season. I mean, come on. How can you not be hyped for this?
There's a lot riding on this, too. This is for the grand finals of Dragon League, which isn't some minor thing. There are prizes for this league. I don't know what they are, in all honesty.
I couldn't provide you the answer. If I would make a guess, they're probably RP cards or something along those lines.
That would make sense. But
that would be my only guess.
That is not for this game. That is for next week's games. So, as we're in this game now, we are expecting not any level 1 action, unfortunately. These teams are not known for their daringness, but
I'm sorry, we have to disappoint you, Doctor. We know how much you love the level 1 fiestas.
The level 1 fiestas bring me such joy in my heart that they're really what allow me to get through the general work week. I mean, Monday rolls around, and if I haven't had my fill of level 1 fiesta, it's that much more draining, and it makes it that much harder to get through the week.
I mean, if that's what it takes to float your boat, like I see no reason to complain against it. It's just typical standard jungle starts coming in here, nothing too fancy.
So one thing I'd like to point out that Toddy didn't do there, that I actually almost always do as my Gen 80 when I'm leashing, fire the 4th shot, because you get the speed boost and it helps you get to lane just a bit faster, because you're going to reload by the time you get there anyway.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. I would say the only time that was a concern was back when junglers were starting Krugs, and sometimes your 4th shot would take the camp, but when it's on a buff, the buff has enough HP that using your 4th shot on it, not that big of a deal. The speed boost certainly helps. Harken Sight's just doing Rumble things from the top lane. I've been kind of experimenting with a little bit of Rumble as a top lane player into specific heavy jungle pressure matchups. Experimenting with going Electro Harpoon and not going for the early push. Doing much more passive. That was a nice hook by line like Kui.
Yeah, Limelight Huey played this champion last week. Very effective on it. Actually won the Nautilus into Poppy matchup. Actually, no, it was Maokai Poppy. I apologize. It was Maokai into Poppy, and then won Poppy into Maokai as well. So we definitely know that Limelight Huey is very well versed in these top lane champions and the matchups that go along with them.
Yeah. Definitely not his first rodeo up in that top lane.
Now, I'd like to ask you this. Ziggs is a wave push champion. I mean, we see it time and time again. They're actually losing this push lane, but Esper Luna taking so much damage, forced to flash. First blood goes to Angel of Night, though. We'll see if Tawny can get the return kill.
4-shot is up for Jin.
Bouncing Bomb not going to land. Flash Fillet also not going to land. Heal comes out from Pocket Cookies. The hook is going to go wide. Deadly Flourish is not a... It is! Deathfire Touch coming in huge, but Harken Scythe now gets the red buff. Burns himself down with the overheat, but Limelight Kiwi has no hook to follow it up. And what a bold 1-for-1 in the bot lane.
I mean, it's support for support, but the difference in kill distribution is the key to that trade. The first Blood Gold went onto Thresh, and the kill gold for Ice Cold Juice went onto the Jhin. As we just see Piston Switch doing what he did last week on the Varus, and just landing almost every arrow in this game.
Yeah, and that's going to start mattering a lot. I mean, there's not really a tank on Ice Cold Juice right now.
Well, the thing about the difference between Varus and some of these other lethality champions is Varus doesn't care if you have a tank, because his arrows go through tanks. So it's not like a Talon, it's not like a Jace where you can just, body block it with a tank and it's just kind of a ho-hum. Varus Q doesn't really care. Like, it's going to hit your backline as long as he lines up his Q properly. Like, it just doesn't matter.
Yeah, and I mean, Varus did actually receive very large nerfs, but we see Zac just kind of walking into the mid lane. However, into the Rune Prison, tons of damage on a Piston's going to force out the flash. He will survive this one, but there's always next time when you're a Sejuani.
Yeah, he didn't use the cleanse. Like, he explicitly took the cleanse for situations like that, and he just did not choose to use it. I don't know if he forgot he had cleanse or what the deal was.
I think he thought maybe the Rune Prison wasn't really worth cleansing, because you obviously can't knock up the Sejuani charge being a knock-up after all.
Yeah, this is true, but...
One thing I was trying to get your opinion on earlier before we saw that first blood is Ziggs is winning the CS matchup in this bot lane, but losing the push game. And
I feel like that's more of a difference in the fact that Pocket Cookies really isn't trying to hard shove the lane. He's looking for more of trying to knock off. Like, we've been seeing a lot of his bouncing bombs been trying to get onto Esper Luna, trying to pock that, I believe it's the not Glimpse of the Void, the Void Shift, there we go. Passive off of Esper Luna so they can try to set up Angel of Night for his hooks, because that Void Shift passive just kind of negates Thresh in this lane. So we're not really seeing a lot of focus onto the minions. It's more of trying to set up plays for his support.
Yeah, but when you're the Ziggs, aren't you more worried about getting that first tower gold, getting that first brick, and just opening the map up for your team a bit more?
In most scenarios, yes, but again, this is lower levels of play, so we're not entirely sure what they're prioritizing with the Ziggs pick. Generally, with Ziggs, you are wanting to push just because you do have that tower execute. Albeit the buff did get
big hook on the Tawny. Okay, he has nowhere to run, but there's no summoners available. Esper Luna's going to get that. Tawny is running back through the minions, though, finally going to go down. But now the double kill for Esper Luna is going to come in. Maybe we will be seeing an AP Malzahar in this game.
Well, I still feel like Rylai's is still pretty core to the Malzahar build. I mean, you probably won't see much AP after that, but I just feel like it's just such a good buy. Gamma Chaos.
There's no level 6 available for these junglers, but the damage from Zac and Esperluna forces it out and gets the kill. That's bad.
That was just a little bit greedy. Like, he had no support from Piston Switch quite yet. His bot lane both died. He should have backed off and waited till his bot lane respawned.
Oh, good Chains of Corruption onto Zac. The flash away will be his doom, however. So Pocket Cookie's picking up a kill for himself finally. Limelight trying to stop the recall, but barely in time. Gonna go through.
Yeah, but the blue buff does eventually go on to Piston Switch, which means Varus just gets to press Q all day long and play. I get to play PvE, and you just don't get to fight me.
Although there is the pretty significant nerfs to the Piercing Arrow this game. The cooldown on the Piercing Arrow did go up, and it's only reduced if you hit a target that has a Blight stack. And it might actually be only a champion with a Blight stack.
I'm pretty sure it's just a champion with a Blight stack. Otherwise, like, you would just auto one minion and you'd be like, oh, whatever.
Yeah. So that ability cooldown is still higher, so the blue buff is definitely there because it's needed, but overall, there is, like I said, the nerf on the Varus.
Well, I mean, the cooldown on it was pretty broken before. It was something absurd, like a 2-second cooldown.
I believe it was 4 or 3-ish. It was just enough time that you could... Oh, the Void Shift there coming in huge. Level 7 for Tawny. He could ultimate. Here's the curtain call coming down. Pocket Cookie's going to try and kill him, but there isn't enough damage. There is the Void Shift, though. Not Void Shift. But Harkin Scythe, meanwhile, on the top lane, forced to use the Equalizer. Zac's made his presence known. No level 6 available. Harkin Scythe gets silenced by himself. Can they get the second kill onto the Nautilus? Limelight Kiwi is super tanky.
Gamma Chaos has been struggling so far in this Warwick. I mean, yes, he does have the farm lead, but he already has 2 deaths. And really hasn't been able to get any true ganks off. That was his first use of the Infinite Duress.
And
wasn't able to get the kill on the Harkin side, so...
Both deaths are onto Zac, his direct competitor.
Yeah, which, as Sejuani, getting kills does help because it does allow you to get to your Cinderhulk even faster, because you really need your Cinderhulk to really... like, start competing with Warwick in terms of clear.
And I know you mentioned that the Gamma Chaos Warwick is ahead in farm, but Warwick's the type of champion that can do more full clears, so can get that bonus number boost from killing Krugs. So it's a little different. I feel like a 13, now 10 CS lead isn't quite in the realm of just straight up advantage.
I mean, it's still a minor. It was still a minor gold lead minus the kills, but yeah, we've discussed this previously that jungle CS until it hits about 20 to 30 doesn't really matter too much.
Yeah, but so Infernal Drake, very huge pickup for Cosmic Riders.
Yeah, it's a very early Infernal Drake, pre 11 minutes, so there's still gonna be another 3 to 4 Drakes.
And the next one up is also Infernal.
So that's definitely something as we're going to be looking to fight over, but
Angel of Night should be going down. The Mega Inferno Bomb is not a deterrent, though. Meanwhile, Call Me Carrot with the solo kill in the mid lane. Huge pickup there.
I don't know what led up to that in the mid lane. I'm assuming Piston Switch just stayed when he was rather low HP. I'm assuming he was trying to wait for Ghostblade gold, but he couldn't quite get enough gold for it and ended up dying.
Yeah, and that's kind of the problem with that, is every time you stay and wait for just that next step gold, you always run that risk of just getting outpaced by your laner.
Yeah, because the Rise did have its catalyst, had his tier. Excuse me. does have that first big power spike for Rise with both those items completed. Angel Knight trying to set up plays in the spot lane, but at 2-4-1 just has really been struggling in this lane
big
matchup.
deadly flourish. The flash in, the ignite goes down. Here comes the kill, though. Tawny 2K picking up another for himself. They have Zach for the tower dive. Tawny picking up a double kill. And this is dangerous. This is Tawny 2K on a 4-1-3 Jhin.
Yeah, this bot lane is definitely putting the ribbing to the side of Cosmic Riders at this point in the game, and it's definitely a very worrying point because Jin's the only source of AD damage on this team, and if Jhin gets ahead, it doesn't matter if you have a triple tank lineup essentially, because Jin's going to outpace you.
Yeah, Jhin, although not seeming to be a late game powerhouse because he's not the general that we're used to, he's not this very, high crit, high attack speed style champion like a Tristana or a Vayne. So it's different in the terms of hard carry as in that. But knock up on the Gamma Chaos. He thinks he can win this fight. He's winning the damage, but neither mid laner seems to care to help out.
It's just like, nope, we're just gonna stick to farming.
But now Zach has priority on this control ward. Gamma Chaos not going to get knocked up. Now he can go back to winning this trade. Gets the smite, gets the damage. The ultimate onto Call Me Carrot actually forces the death sentence to miss. Flash Ghost coming out of Carrot, though.
So he does get both summoners out. They don't use anything summoner-wise themselves. Just below Shades of Corruption and Protect Your Wrath. So nothing too much to be lost in this lane. Limelight Kiwi is falling dangerously behind in this top lane in terms of farm. He's already down 30 CS, but it is a Nautilus, so not a huge deal, but you do still need your gold as a Nautilus, especially if you're trying to outpace this much AP damage.
Not only that, because of the AP focus that we mentioned, he's not going to have any armor at any point in this game, which means that this, lethality 80 carry is just going to have free reign to do whatever he wants to him.
It looks like, the fact that Tawny 2K built Zerker's Greaves kind of tilts me.
Yeah, I typically go for the boost of swiftness on Jhin, but
I feel like swiftness, Merc Treads, Tabbies, all better options.
The Merc Treads would have been very huge with the just simple amount of CC coming at him. Would have been very effective here.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, the thing for Cosmic Riders is they do still have a well-scaling composition. They have the fallback pattern of the heavy front line. But at this point, they definitely are going to need to itemize some early armor just to deal with Tawny 2K, who it does look like I believe will be going either Duskblade or Infinity Edge next item. I'm assuming it's Duskblade.
I would really prefer seeing an Infinity Edge. That Infinity Edge boosts your fourth shot. It just gives you a general amount of critical damage, especially if he goes with a big ultimate on the Pocket Cookies, though. Deadly Flourish going to land onto Angel of Night. Box and Curtain Call going down. Pocket Cookies, though, caught in the front. Gonna be going down. Rampage for Tawny. Can he get another one? The answer is no, because it goes to Carrot. But it is a 5-on-1 now in the mid lane. Piston Wish can only do so much.
Like, Warwick and Nautilus weren't there for that fight. It was a good rotation by Ice Cold Juice, which is showing why they earned that bye with their play so far this game. But
Equalizer goes down, not gonna land quite particularly on anybody.
With a little early on the dredge line from Limelight Kiwi. If you really want to guarantee that dredge line landing, you want to wait until the knockup lands before you go for the dredge line. That way you can chain the CC really extremely effectively, because they can't actually dodge the hook, because you're getting the ultimate, they're knocked up, get the hook. And I don't know if they can fight this, but there are no ultimates available for Ice Cold Juice. This is very risky for them.
Dredge line onto Call Me Carrot into the Infinite Duress. Call Me Carrot still alive, though. Gets a kill, goes down. Esperluna trading 1-for-1 so far. Harken Scythe gonna go down as well. Sejuani's all the way in the back, shut down to half HP already. 2 for 1 with second Infernal Drake available for Cosmic if they decide to go for this.
But Zach is still available. He does not have Smite for 35 seconds, though.
But
So
do Cosmic know this? Do Cosmic know that they have the Smite advantage? And you can see most of Cosmic wants to pull the...
Well, they don't have a Smite advantage because Gamma Chaos is dead.
Ah, sure.
Yeah, I think they should honestly just hold off on doing this, or just turn.
The hook in, secured for red team. The long-range auto attack from Pocket Cookies, though, gets the kill onto Zach and the Dragon.
They also get the teleport out of Harken Scythe as well, so that is going to be TP advantage for the side of Cosmic Riders for the next 5 minutes.
And they get to keep the tower alive, barely.
Hey, it's still alive. That's all that matters. It might only be a breath of wind away from dying, but it is still up. They have a Ziggs and a Varus.
Say, if the Ziggs had been on the other team, the tower just simply wouldn't be there anymore.
Yeah, that tower would be relegated to the void. That's where it would go. It would be relegated to the void.
Although I would like to point out, we had a Ziggs bot lane, and he lost lane. He not only lost lane, he lost tower. So he did lose the tower advantage to a Jhin of all champions, which is also not only not known for killing tanks, not known for killing towers either.
Yeah, he just doesn't have the raw damage to do that because, you know, only 4 auto attacks at a time.
Although you can critical towers with Jhin, so that's a neat little pick-me-up, I guess. It doesn't quite offset it. A Tristana will still murder a tower well before Jhin, but he does what he can. Tons of damage coming on to Limelight, though. Fourth shot not going his way. Does eat a bouncing grenade.
Again, it's
that's ghost popped for Gamma Chaos. Infinite Duress again. Not the most reliable skill shot, just due to the animation.
Yeah, I feel like Riot just needs to go in and adjust the animation itself. I feel like that's kind of the issue with it. I don't feel like it's a hitbox issue. Yeah, I feel like it's the way they set up the animation makes it extremely unreliable.
Yeah, I mean, you always feel like it's going to hit, and then you, like, butt slide into him, and you're like, oh, I guess not today.
It's just like, okay, this is the reason why I picked this champion. I can't land this ability, okay. Seems good, Riot. Seems good.
I mean, there is a lot more to Thresh than just the Infinite Dress. He does have fairly reliable...
Warwick.
What did I just call it?
Called him Thresh.
Alright, cool. Thresh also has more than an Infinite Dress. The death sentence is a lot easier to land. Animation is a lot more forgiving. But Warwick, I mean, he has the lifesteal. He has the damage reduction into the fear, which is super useful. But Limelight, I feel he's playing very safe here. Pocket Cookies, though, gets caught out. But so does Piston Wish. Tons of damage coming in. There's the cleanse being blown.
He does cleanse and Ghost Blade, but the Rise is well out of position here.
Nobody is in position to respond, and he has pretty good advantage in this mid lane now.
And bot lane as well. Both those lanes are shoving while Cosmic Riders are just ARAMing on top lane. You know, we don't need our mid tier 2. We don't need that.
They're actually all here because of the Jhin. They really, really want this tower. Equalizer coming through.
But they just block off the Equalizer. It's
Piston Wish, no cleanse this time. Taking tons of damage from the Rise. Call Me Carrot just having his way with this mid lane.
I feel like Zach should just, if they had the Equalizer available.
Oh, big hook on Espeluna is going to seal the deal there. Depth charge onto Tawny 2K. Can they get any more damage? He eats the full brunt of the Mega in front of him. 3-man chains coming in from Zach, though. Gamma Chaos picks up the kill onto Carrot. Fourth shot coming in from the death sentence isn't enough. Gamma Chaos with his speed boost, no infinite duress available, can't get into the fight. Deadly Flourish, Chains of Corruption comes up once again, shut down for Piston Wish. Zach's also going to be going down to Gamma Chaos, and what a disaster.
They had no equalizer for that fight. Like, that's a very crucial cooldown to their team fight, and it was still on cooldown from that play where they ulted the back of the
wall.
The wall. I'm just like, I was trying to think of what to call the wall, but I guess it's just a wall. And they're gonna lose their top tier 1 outer, but they do still have they are dealing with a massive wave in this bot lane. It won't be enough to take the tower, but it will get a significant amount of damage. And if Cosmic Riders can start rotating, getting more of these fights when these ultimates aren't available, it will favor them heavily, because while they are still behind in gold, if they're fighting without Equalizer, without Glacial Prison, without the Curtain Call or Nether Grasp, if they're missing any of those ultimates, it's so much easier for Cosmic Riders to pick a fight.
Yeah, and I mean, that seemed like it should have gone Ice Cold Juice's way. They had a very large Sejuani ultimate. They got 3 members with it. They got 3 crucial members with it, not just the tanks like you had mentioned earlier. It just seemed like Call Me Carrot was just a bit too far forward, got hit by the Infinite Duress, and once that happened, it was game over. The hook onto Esperluna certainly didn't help, ended up dying before getting his ultimate off, and just kind of went from there.
Yeah, and they are getting a Wind Drake, which is actually quite good for the side of Cosmic Riders. It helps Gamma Chaos a lot. It helps Limelight Kiwi a lot. It helps Angel of Night a lot. All of them trying to get into range. To try to
TP from Harken Scythe. All the ultimates are available. So, when do they go? Gamma Chaos alone in the pit. Equalizer coming down, goes the wrong way. Doesn't stop anybody from escaping. Hook onto Esperluna should be the deal. Chains of Corruption comes in as well. Infinite Dress onto Call Me Carrot, though. Gamma Chaos all by himself. Depth Charge follows down onto Tani 2K. The Flash Auto from Limelight seals his own death. The Piercing Arrow should maybe seal the deal. Smite is what does it, though. Gamma Chaos, does he have the damage? He does. Double kill for him. And the Hyena does get the final laugh there.
Yeah, just the fight was decided by that poor ultimate from Harken Scythe. As a Rumble player myself, I have finangled my ultimates more than once. So I know that feeling. It's like the worst feeling ever, but I know exactly how that feels. But it was still an excellently played team fight for the side of Cosmic Riders. They are bringing this gold back, and there is still a lot of low-hanging fruit. And it's an even goal game again, like completely even.
Yeah, and looking at the ultimates still remaining after that dragon fight, Curtain Call still available, Nether Grasp still available for Esperluna. Once again got caught out by the hook. And I gotta say, that's kind of the deciding factor these last couple fights, is Esperluna getting caught. I mean, if he doesn't happen, that's, you know, the Nether Grasp available for lockdown onto Gamma Chaos, onto Kiwi, onto really anybody daring enough to get close. But going down before it's available either time, that's a huge lockdown your team is missing.
Yeah, because that's extremely important for this team, because they don't have a front line, and they have to lock down the front line for the side of Cosmic Riders in order to try to burn them down. They are going the double Leandries out. Esperluna does have that Haunting, guys. It might be a little ways before he picks up the upgrade to the Leandries, but he does have the build path for it. Rumble also going for the Swifties. I'm not a fan of. I still feel like if you're not going to go pen boots on Rumble, you should be going tabbies or mercs. Swifties just aren't a very good choice for Rumble, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, they're fine, don't get me wrong. It does help him move from lane to lane, but it doesn't give him any combat stats.
Yeah, I mean,
it's just like, oh, I go a little faster.
And the thing about Rumble is he's not very gold reliant. He does only so much gold makes him effective. And when you are dealing with some of that low economy style builds, you just want to max the penetration. You want to get spell pin boots into Leandres, into
Usually void.
and at that point,
If you're strictly focusing on just basically doing as much damage as possible, Void Staff 3rd is your best option with boots as your boots and Leandres as your first 2 items, because even to a tank you're doing massive damage at that point.
yeah, and that's when, Rumble's kind of his most effective. He hits that mid-game spike. All of those items are relatively inexpensive compared to some others. So, I mean,
it's about a 6,000 gold build, roughly.
Yeah, and I mean, when you compare that, like I was saying, to, say, a Rabadon's build or something like that, it becomes very, very inexpensive, and you still do enough damage that your Equalizer can be the determining factor in these team fights. But like we saw that last fight, it really doesn't matter how much damage you have if it doesn't land.
Yeah, like Rumble is always one of those champions where if you miss your ultimate as Rumble, you're forcing your team into such a crucial point that they have to essentially just back off a fight, because without the Equalizer available, that's such a huge portion of any team's damage. They are going to trade top for bot here. Limelight Kiwi is still going to be going Sunfire Cape, which I believe is still important for him, just because it does give him extra wave push, even though it is a Nautilus. He doesn't quite need it as much as the other takes, but it's still an important item to have because it is still a 6-3 and 5 Jhin who is going crit build after Ghostblade.
Yeah, and that is generally what I've been seeing people use lately as well. It allows you to spike very hard, gets lots of early crits that all easily go over 1k. And when you're looking at, this Cosmic Rider team, nobody can withstand those kinds of crits. I mean, you see Limelight just now finishing his Sunfire Cape, but everyone else on the team is just so incredibly squishy comparatively.
Yeah, at least in terms of armor. They're only seeing really the Ninja Tab is the only other armor item picked up right now. Something that is concerning, though, for the side of Cosmic Riders is the CS differentials in mid lane and bot lane. It's almost 100 CS difference between Toddy 2K and Pocket Cookies, and it's a 45 CS difference between Call Me Carrots Please and Piston Switch. Call Me Carrots Please has been playing extremely well into Piston Switch, who pretty much hard carried Cosmic Riders last week, and Call Me Carrot Please has been playing utterly fantastic.
Yeah, and I mean, I just took a look at the gold totals between Toddy and Pocket Cookies. It's an almost 3k gold difference in favor of Toddy 2k.
Oh, it's 3 items versus 2 items. Like,
that's
one
the
of
other
those
half.
items being one of the most expensive items in the game.
Yeah, and that's, AP
but
builds
it's a
being...
3rd Infernal. This is quite huge.
They have to fight for it. You can't give over 3 Infernals. I want to know what the percentage of teams that give over 3 Infernals and win. I want to know what that percentage is.
It's not very big.
As I say, it doesn't seem like it would be even in double digits, really.
I would, like, if I had to wager a guess, it's probably like...
Oh, Toddy does get tagged up by the Infinite Duress. The teleport from Rise comes in. Toddy's actually going to survive the lockup onto Pocket Cookies. Gets the kill. What more can they do? Chains of Corruptions onto Zac, who's not very tanky. Ash Balloon is going to be going down. Harken Scythe and Call Me Carrot locked up. But the Flame Spitter doing so much damage. Triple kill for Limelight Kiwi. Deadly Flourish doesn't save Tawny from the Tank Man. Quadra kill.
Tanks OP, boy.
Quadra kill for Limelight Kiwi.
Yeah, like, that fight was won without Mega Inferno Bomb ever coming off. Like, I was sitting there watching fun. I'm just like, wait, where's Mega Inferno Bomb? It's just like, oh wait, Pocket Cookies died without getting any damage off.
Pocket Cookies got annihilated. So they will be getting this inhibitor, and they'll have plenty of time, I feel, to fall back and take the dragon.
Yeah, they can try to get first seals. Zac should have enough time to get there because it is going to take them about 20 seconds to get over the dragon. And he is respawned now. They do have TP available on Harken Scythe, but it is about 20 seconds before he does have his ultimate available. And that's kind of the thing about Rumble is...
That was great.
But anyway, as Rumble, if you don't have your ultimate, I would say it's almost better to save your TP. It's kind of like TPing as Malphite without ultimate. You just don't do very much.
Or a mini Gnar teleport.
Yeah, you just don't do very much. So it's just better just to save it.
But, I mean, that was a pretty large fight, and it seemed almost to start off in favor of Ice Cold Juice. We saw Pocket Cookies get caught up and go down very early. Toddy got a lot blown on him and survived, and was able to throw down the curtain call. And then it just seemed to fall apart from there. I mean, we saw, Harken Scythe got locked up, but he was sitting there using a heated flame spitter on 4 members at that point. And that's supposed to be a lot of damage.
Except for the whole fact that everyone on the side of Cosmic Riders, minus Ziggs, has magic resist. And quite a lot of magic resist. Like, I think Ziggs is the only person below 100 ML right now.
Although
there's not a single Void Staff yet.
I am excited to see the Lich Bane coming out for Ziggs. I was actually, honestly, really surprised it wasn't built second. When there was still so much gold available on the map. I mean, you get 2-shotting on towers between him and Varus, and all of a sudden it doesn't matter if you win the team fight. Just zone them off, 2-shot the tower, move on with your life.
Well, they are having inside track on this tier 2.
But Tawny's so far ahead, these minion waves just don't do anything. They don't survive long at all.
I mean, it's not like he has Flamed Horizon Pocket Cookies or anything.
He's only a Ziggs player. He doesn't farm. What are you talking about? Oh, huge hook on the Tawny! The equalizer only lands onto 3. Mega Inferno Bomb lands onto Zac. Zac is going to be able to flash away. Redemption coming down for Cosmic Riders. They will survive for now. Can they get anything else? The hook does not land, but there's super minions in the base. Tower 1 is very close to going down. They have to respond to that or just lose the base.
Yeah, because I think the tower...
Oh, big hook on the Harken Scythe. The double hook, actually. Harken Scythe is going to zone use, but it will only keep him alive for so long. Angel of Night's actually going to pick that one up for himself. Pistons tanking tower saying, come on, guys, I want to end this game 1. Let's get this done.
They're going to rotate for Baron. They're going to say, we're going to stop pushing. We still have Toddy 2Ks down for 5 more seconds. Harken Scythe's down for 35. This is a free Baron because Harken Scythe's not going to be up in time because they have a lot of damage for Baron. They have a Warwick, they have a Varus, they have a Ziggs.
They have triple Infernal Drake.
Even though it doesn't do damage to Baron.
It's bonus AD and magic or AP, so that's technically something damage to Baron.
Realm Warp just to try to scare them.
Curtain call coming in. Pocket Cookies is caught though. Toddy 2K puts him in the grave. Lock up on the Gamma Chaos. Can they get the kill? Gamma Chaos gets ignited. There's the kill. He's trying to survive. Shutdown from Esper Luna. Do they have the damage to counter steal the Baron though? They do. Surprise!
I don't know what to say other than the fact that Limelight QE decided he wanted to play zone duty instead of tank the Baron. Like the person who should be zoning is the Ziggs, because Ziggs, you put minefield down and you throw bouncing bombs and people cannot go through that choke point. Like, even if you have a Jhin who can go up and open up with curtain call, if no one can get onto your team, it should be a free Baron. Like, there's no reason as to not being able to get that Baron.
So, bit of a misstep there.
As Rise apparently decides he needs red buff? Question mark?
I mean, who else is going to use it on his team? Let's be real here.
Harkin Scythe, I would probably say would be better.
That's fair.
Just
All
because
right,
he's
I'll
in
give you that
melee
one.
range.
Yeah, I would like to see a Rylai's from Harkin. Not, crazy.
I don't like Rylai's on Rumble now.
It's fun.
It's because since the change that slows
Angel
some
of
stack,
Night gets
Electric Arc-
completely
Angel's
caught
sick.
and annihilated. Taduke with the crit. Mega Inferno Bomb only going to land onto Harkin and Call Me Carrot. Dragon's in a minute, and Angel of Night is dead for 40 seconds.
He will have enough time to get there. They try to make a well-marked play, but
Well, they were just getting into the mid lane. I mean, they have Baron empowered minions and a very tanky Zac now. I don't know where all these tank stats came from. They're just suddenly there.
I mean, he's been a part of 9 kills, and his farm is okay. It's not a great amount of farm, but
Huge
not
wave in
terrible.
this top lane. There should be no response to this tower going down available for
Inhibitor
Cosmic.
did respawn for them, so they don't have to worry about losing their base, as the wave is stacked against the side of Cosmic Riders.
Not only
Trying
that,
to take jungle on their way out.
the tower that we talked about at that big fight that Limelight won before the Baron mistook, it's actually basically fully healed again. It didn't go down, and so now it healed back up. And so all the big advantage gained by Cosmic there's kind of been negated and countered by that Baron play.
Yeah, but there's still quite a bit left of time in the game. They still have to break the...
It is only
Based
39
on-
minutes. I would love to see Cosmic pick up this Elder Drake. 6 Infernal Drakes, Primus. 6.
That would be like 50% boosted damage. That just sounds disgusting.
I want to see it, and then I want to see a piercing arrow onto Toddy. Like,
I feel like that just insta-kills him.
like an uninterrupted one, it just hits him like solo. But tons of damage. Great equalizer coming in from Harkin Scythe, and everybody is just melting. Shutdown, triple kill, quadra kill coming in. There it is. The quadra kill for Call Me Carrot. The penta is still a dream. The ghost gets
Hey,
popped.
it's like I said earlier. Get a good ultimate as Rumble, your team wins game.
They are
Like,
going
that
to.
was a picture-perfect Rumble ultimate there from Harkin Scythe. Like, well, yes, Call Me Carrot Please did take all of the kills, but that was mostly from Harkin Scythe.
Yeah, I mean, BM from Gamma Chaos running away from the potential pentakill, but all in all, this is a relatively ineffective Elder Drake. They had 0 Elemental Drakes.
It's more of a denial.
I mean, they do get a slight boost in damage just because Elder, but when it really comes down to it, it is more of a denial than a benefit.
Yeah, but if you can divide a team from having 6 Infernals plus the all-powerful 4 Elder stack buff, like, you kind of want to do that.
Yeah, but just like my level 1 Fiestas, I want to see 6 Infernal Drakes.
Well, if the game goes to 50 minutes, you'll have a chance to see it.
I know, but that's a double-edged sword. 50-minute games, possible 6 Infernal Drakes. There's a lot of stuff weighing on that combo. But I mean, now that we're breaking it down, Baron's fallen off.
Hold up. I'm trying to diagnose what the World Limelight Kiwi is building with a Fiendish Codex and a Kindle Gem. As far as I know, that combination does not build into an item.
Although he has 2 item slots still available.
I mean, I guess it could be Abyssal and Protobelt?
It's going to be Protobelt Zonias.
I don't know. I feel like Zonias might be going a little too far, man.
Morellonomicon?
No. I just thought of the best item. Although it doesn't build out of Fiendish Codex, but it would be great if it did. It would be a Lich Bane.
That would be wholly terrifying.
I like how you don't appreciate the things I appreciate as a top player.
Well, no, because I'm just thinking, like, if I'm Toddy and I see Nautilus running at me with the build he currently has with a Lich Bane, he's already got the Dead Man's Plate. He hooks into Empowered Auto, because he already gets the bonus damage on first auto. And I'm just like, this is how it feels to get Ziggs auto attacked. Cool. Like, I'm just like, I fear for the 80 carries mentality at that point.
I also fear for Ziggs' life because apparently he is Satan right now.
That's fine. He's a yordle. These things happen.
But the big thing right now is Tawny 2K is pretty much capped out item-wise. And both Ziggs and Varus still have multiple item slots available.
Toddy's going to be picking up a bit of lifesteal. Just because that's the only thing that builds out of
300 gold, if I remember correctly.
Yes. But we see the infamous Death Brush, and I would like to point out Piston Wish seems to be a patch behind what Live actually is. He's picked the Varus. He's still going Edge of Night. Both which, we talked about the just in general Varus nerfs earlier, but Edge of Night also receiving nerfs. I think
Edge of Night is still a fine item, though.
But we're noticing a very noticeable lack of impact from Piston this time around.
Yeah,
he did so much work last week.
He's still landing good arrows, but his team he just isn't having that same level.
Oh, big flash in from Call Me Carrot. Gamma Chaos jumps right back. Call Me Carrot's going super low. Another huge equalizer. Everybody's completely locked on it. Gamma Chaos goes down. Zonia's popped for Harkin. The GA coming back up for Gamma Chaos. The curtain call used just for him. It is going to miss. Fourth shot not going to land either. Gamma Chaos will be going down to Esper Luna. Meanwhile, Limelight's doing what he can in a 1v4. Flashes over the wall. Big fourth shot from Tawny. But the fight is still going on. Fail flash from Tawny as well.
But the carries are still alive. So.
Oh, Carrot, please, where's your Lich Bane? It's not there.
May not have a Lich Bane, but he does have a Dead Man's.
Yeah, tons of damage from there. Tawny could actually just one-shot Limelight, and there it is. Not one-shot, but, I mean, he's a tank. Come on, man. Harkin?
Yeah, Varus, plays poke games all day.
Yeah, and, we talked about...
Well, Rise is now officially capped. I'm pretty sure he's close to 1,000 AP right now.
We've talked about pretty much every champion in this game except the Rise. And I don't really know what to say because I did notice the shield that he received last fight. I just didn't mention it because there was so much else going on. It was a large shield. It was not small.
Yeah. As I said, he has 1,000 AP right now. He's late game Rise. It's utterly terrifying.
And yet he still died to a top lane Nautilus. The shame,
things, boys.
the shame will forever haunt him.
Well, he did pick up an Abyssal for Nautilus. Now we just have to wait and see what the Kindle Gem builds into.
Come on, Protobelt. But I'm actually honestly surprised we don't see a single damage item coming out of the Sejuani. I would have expected something, I guess, but...
the only one I could see him getting would be a Leandri's.
Which would be very effective, I'm not going to lie. And that's the Rise coming in huge. Equalizer, great onto Gamma Chaos getting locked up as well. Call Me Carrots takes that home to the bank. Espeluna getting shielded and redemptioned. There it is. So much health back coming there. Double kill for Call Me Carrot. Also going down in the backline is Zac versus Piston Wish. Curtain call comes down. There it is. Double kill for Toddy. 5-0 in favor of Ice Cold Juice. And that should be the game.
Like, the deciding point of this game is Harkenscythe actually started hitting equalizers. Like, in all of those last 3 team fights that Ice Cold Juice won, Harkenscythe had excellent equalizers. Like, yes, he doesn't have any kills, but those team fights were won from his equalizers.
So it is the good old miss 3 equalizers to give them false hope plan, and we saw it work out
it's
perfectly.
all about the long con.
As Kami Carrot throws his team into the fountain. So, yeah. But that is the game. That is game 1 going in favor of Ice Cold Juice. And I want to see these damage totals. I'm curious to see what we have on that side.
I would be surprised if Pocket Cookies did actual damage, because it felt like in every team fight he died in like half a second.
Alright, so here we go. And we have a grand winner in Rise. No, Jin.
No, Jin.
Jin. So, one of the first times ever since this meta picked up, we do see a Jin doing more damage than a Varus. So, super weird. I don't know how I feel about it personally. It kind of hurts me because I hate Varus, but I like Jin and I don't want to see him get nerfed.
Jin, please, Rito. No nerf Jin.
But, I mean, outside of just damage totals alone, super back and forth, I honestly believed Cosmic had it for most of the game, actually.
Yeah, but, like, the thing is, like, they never had a team fight where they got multiple spell rotations out of Pocket Cookies. Because almost every single team fight, he died instantly.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the damage to champions, Ziggs Potato Cookies was actually the...
I mean, he still did a lot of damage, but...
was the highest on his team, actually lost in damage to the Rise by 1 point. A single point of damage between Rise and Ziggs, and we were talking about how the Rise probably did more, and he only beat him by 1 point of damage.
Yeah. I mean, it is Ziggs, so, like, there's a lot of damage that we don't see from the Ziggs. But still, it wasn't a... It just felt like he just wasn't a ton of impact.
And, you know, I talked about the early game. I talked about how Ziggs is there to push waves and take towers. Ended up losing first tower to the Jin. And from then on, we did see some great tower pushes. We saw top lane go down. We saw mid lane, both tier 1 and tier go down at different points of the game due to that extra Ziggs damage. But those were the only towers they got, really.
They just weren't ever to actually get up to towers.
Yeah. So, great game 1 played by both sides. We are going to be taking a short break while the teams reset, talk to their coaches, figure out what went right, what went wrong. So they're going to be coming back into game 2 with a fresh draft side. So stay tuned for that, guys. We will be right back. We'll see you then.